So, David, I'm going to start with the story about the Soraya Martinez-Ferrada. You heard Jason just mention this on the news. There was a clip of her there. Look, 98.5 FM on the French side, Luc Ferrandez today suggesting, and I want to ask you, first of all, with respect to what's being alleged here, that security deposit that she asked for, the suggestion is it's embarrassing and or compromising. Is it?
Well, it is, and to a certain extent, she admitted herself today during a news conference that it is, because also what the Journal de Montréal report says this morning is that, first of all, she denied it completely, then changed her story the next day. I think it was Thursday, then changed her story on the Friday, and ultimately had to admit that, one, it's not a mistake. This is actually illegal in Quebec. You cannot ask for an advance deposit for anything to a renter. A landlord cannot do that. And so the issue here, I think, one, is that Soraya Martinez is trying to define herself as being the candidate that will solve the housing crisis in Montreal. She has made it her number one priority for her candidacy. And so you can already see the contradiction. But even worse than that is that for a lot of Montrealers, I would dare to say for a large majority of Montrealers, this is the first time they will hear about Soraya Martinez. She is not she's not very well known for Montrealers, and so this is a bad look. Now, of course, this is very early days, but I'm reminded it was actually May of 2021 where the then Ensemble Montréal candidate Denis Coderre, who was looking to beat Valérie Plante and seemingly was ahead, and the Plante administration was very unpopular, he dropped his cell phone in his car. And it was illegal, and it seemed like nothing, but it started unraveling his campaign. So, again, it's hard to say the overall impact, but sometimes it's not necessarily it says a lot about, okay, you're a candidate for mayor. It's not like she's the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. She's renting out a house, and she doesn't know. She apparently says that she did not know that she was asking for an advance deposit, something that is clearly illegal.
Okay, hold on. My understanding, David, was she said a rental agency who she had given it to are the ones that, right?
And the report says, if you read the Journal de Montréal report, Aaron, it says that her rental agent is a longtime friend of hers from the Union Montréal days who testified at the Charbonneau Commission. So there are a lot of different layers there, and also the story says, well, that she embellished her bio on her House of Commons on her House of Commons page, saying she had a master's degree she did not have.
To which said she said someone wrote that, not her.
Yeah, well, I was a cabinet minister, and I know all cabinet ministers and all MPs review that. I don't know, Aaron, if you don't review anything that has to do with you on the CJAD website. I would doubt that. I think you would approve everything. You would see everything. So there's fine benefit of the doubt, but there's a lot of issues. And regardless of what you and I may think about this, the largest French media conglomerate in Montreal has been running this nonstop since this morning. So it's not just the Journal de Montréal, it's on TVA, it's on LCN, it's on socials, it's on Cube Radio, and it's gone beyond. And so for a lot of Montrealers, this is going to be the first time they really see or hear Soraya Martinez. And for someone who says that, housing is going to be the priority, if the first real message about her that Montreal is here is, she did something that is not allowed under Quebec law as a landlord during a housing crisis. It's a bad look. What can I say? But it might drift away if there's no other shoe to drop, and it just becomes, a 24-hour, one-day story. That's one thing. But again, these are early days, and we'll see the total impact, but it's definitely not a good look for her.
Yeah, it's funny. Just as you said that, I was thinking the same thing, David. Are we still going to be talking about this a week from now?
Fair enough. And in crisis management, there's this whole thing when I've been in the middle of crises. I've advised on crisis management in the private sector, in the political arena, and there's this kind of saying, it's either you get rid of it in 3 hours, if not, then it's 3 days, right. And if you don't get rid of it 3 days, then it's 3 weeks, and so and then it becomes, and it's just that. You have some political capital. You're new in the game, fine. But again, it starts off, and it's something that may stick. And if there are other allegations down the road, and if there's other backtracking with Ensemble Montréal, it could become a thing. But definitely, when you're trying to make a first impression to an electorate that does not know you, that's not the best way to go.
So the second half of this story is, I mentioned 98.5, and so Luc Ferrandez, I'm quoting now, based on this story about Soraya Martinez-Ferrada, he says, and I'm quoting, "The door could be open for a new candidate, and I think it could be David Heurtel." Now, usually I'm the one asking David almost as a joke, but this is now this is being reported, and what they've said in this article, or what he has said, is that up until now, whenever I've asked you, you said, I'm not interested for right now, we're not talking about it, whatever.
I'm not a candidate,
right.
Yes.
And now he's kind of framing it in the sense that, you didn't want to face an open nomination, but this is, of course, a different situation where if Soraya Martinez-Ferrada would now have to step down, you don't have to face an open nomination. Does that change anything?
Well, again, the question of, first of all, Luc Ferrandez, I haven't spoken to Luc in ages, so I wasn't part of that comment of his. Again, I think right now what's going on is that people on the French media, there's a lot of people saying, including Luc Ferrandez, but other people that have been saying today that this could be a fatal blow to her candidacy. Will it be? I don't know. So obviously, some people have raised other names. My name comes up. My name has been coming up for a while. Last fall, again, got a lot of calls, a lot of meetings. And yes, when people call you and want to meet you and, people you respect and they say, look, we'd like to talk to you about running for mayor, sure. But at the same time, I decided not to run for the Ensemble nomination back in December. When it was in December, I decided not to run again in February when it was postponed until February. There were many, many reasons why, and I haven't spoken to Luc, so this supposed reason that I didn't want to vie for in a competitive nomination process, I don't know where he takes that. Back in December, nobody was running for the Ensemble nomination. So I'm just saying, okay, fair enough. Luc Ferrandez sees me as a possible candidate if the nomination is available. It's not right now. Soraya Martinez is clearly the leader of Ensemble. We'll see if she survives this, and then we'll see what happens then. But for now, I'm clearly not a candidate for the Ensemble Montréal nomination for a job that's not even available.
Has anyone contacted you since this happened?
Today, yes. I've had the phone and the text messages have been particularly busy.
No, I mean from Ensemble Montréal.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
No, of course not. No.
Because if they had, you would tell me, we would announce it first here on my show.
Oh, of course. I would be in studio. We'd be streaming live from your studio. Of course.
All right, we're to leave it at that. I'll move on. There are other stories in the news.
Are there?
Yeah, amazingly enough.
There's other stuff that David Heurtel from there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it's hard to believe on a Monday. Let me get a quick take from you. I don't know if you heard the clip, Valerie Plante saying, don't worry, we're going to keep the Grand Prix. This is my question today. I think most people would like to see it stay here. What do you think? Did the city do a bad enough job last year that we're really now concerned about losing this?
They did a horrible job to a point where the head of F1 said, while in Montreal last year, something major has to happen, or we're going to take it elsewhere. And so, you have to be careful. Valerie Plante makes these statements. We have to be wary because there's currently a contract that runs it right till, I think, either 2029 or 2031. And so, right now, yes, there is a Grand Prix because there's a contract. The thing is that Valerie Plante, whether it was Formula E or Formula One, has never shown any interest in the Grand Prix, has never shown any particular liking to anything having to do with economic development for the city of Montreal. She wants to basically turn Montreal into a suburb, into a sleepy, eco-perfect suburb. And so the Grand Prix is one of the last things that we have in Montreal that defines us as a major league city, and it brings in major tourist dollars from outside Quebec. You know, when we are a small market, Aaron. You know this, and to this day, I would put you along with me and others that still regret. I mean, for $8 million, we could have kept the Expos back in the day. And the Quebec government did not want, Lucien Bouchard did not want to put up $8 million to keep the Expos in Montreal. And to this day, we regret it. But there's more also in terms of the dollar. You have to be careful. Cities and governments subsidize because there's a return on investment. And the Grand Prix, by every metric, and I was in government, we've looked at it, I've looked at it in every which way. The Grand Prix is a winner in terms of economic return. So our investments, we get it back. This is not like spending $6 million to bring the LA Kings for 2 off-season games, which was a complete disaster, or $1 billion for the Big O roof, or I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars for Northvolt, which makes all of these make absolutely no sense. This one does, and it's been making sense for decades. And that's why so many major cities around the world are begging F1 to have a Grand Prix. And so the idea here, we have the tradition, we have the history, we have Gilles Villeneuve, we have Jacques Villeneuve, we have the tradition, we have the installations. Yes, they have to be top-notch. We have to reinvest all the time because it's the most important circuit of racing in the world. This is the highest technology cars. These companies invest hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in research for this. You can't put them on some dirt road in the country. So you have to have world-class installations, and we have to be mindful of that as well. But the dollars are there. And there's more to a city than just dollars. Not only is the economic return is there, but when are we going to stop shooting ourselves in the foot? There's also pride. There's also joy. There's also excitement. And living in a city is not just toiling and going to work. You have to have a sense of pride, of belonging, of definition. And the Grand Prix, the Montreal Grand Prix of Canada has been here since the 1978. This is fundamental to our DNA, and we have to invest in it to keep it. And we have to prevent Valerie Plante from losing it, and it's so fundamental. And we did such a horrible job last year that it's going to take a long time. A few years ago, we were the favorite Grand Prix race from the racers. The racers themselves were polled, what's the best place to race? And they will always say Montreal. We have to win that back, but it's part of our I think, of our pride to build institutions, to invest in institutions, and to be proud of it. But there's the dollars are there, and to have that reputation around the world is so important to show that Montreal can still draw these major events. It contributes to other types of economic development, and it says to the world, Montreal is a major league city. We can't afford to lose it.
You sure you're not running for mayor?
I'm sure I'm not running for mayor today.
Okay. KG as always. David Heurtel. David, thank you so much.